Hi folks, Diner Bob here with more building blocks. This time we're going to prop up a park. This is my modular man built over a PK guest, so he's giving us the right proportions for people in the park. I'm going to start with a directional arrow, very simple thing, just two letters turned on their side, and you can resize them. You can move them in and out so that you can make a modern applied to the building sign, or you can sink them in so that you get a painted on effect. Obviously recolorable, really easy to make and build, but keeping it as a preset just saves some extra clicks and fuss. Moving on, we'll pick up a handicapped accessibility sign. And this is made of about 11 pieces, also using letters, an O and an I, and a period, I believe, uh, all resized, clicking through, showing you where the pieces are. And it's not perfect, but it conveys the idea and is therefore usable in the game. Uh, all your habitats, of course, need signage for what's in the exhibit. So here's a build made out of one of the special pieces to be the background, the letter I to make the faux text, and you can see above it there's an animal's name done with the regular lettering as a separate piece. You can save the name as prefab and save the sign as a prefab, and you can switch them back and forth. Of course, the letters and the board is recolorable. It's got round pillar props, very simple, just two shrunk down, then made taller and blended into the sign. And you can take them away, including the foot, which is made from the same piece, and move it onto a wall. Whoops! You do want to take the whole group and not just an element of it. Move it onto a wall to represent wall signage. All in all, a pretty versatile piece. I mean, if you really get crazy, you could spell the whole thing out with this system. You'll have a lot of pieces, but you could put all the information you want. This is a door intercom I built, just three pieces, but pretty effective for all of that. Um, Mostly by downsizing and flattening things. So the button is actually the pipe end cap and shrunk really down so it doesn't look like what it is. That's what it is. And most of that detail goes away when you shrink it really down, and it just looks like a button. The plaque in the back is, I believe, the square ducting made flat and then shrunk down. So you get a little bit of a top edge and a bottom edge and screws to hold the thing in place. And I was trying to show it being pulled out there to show you the ducting, but it didn't want to play. I don't know what that was all about. And the grill is the venting piece. It makes a plausible grill when you shrink it down. Not bad. You put it anywhere you've got staff public interface at a door. The indispensable clipboard, made with the modular cube, flattened and shrunk to size, and a couple of other little pieces. I'm forgetting which pieces I used right now, but only four pieces. Very versatile. You can set it up to hang on a hook, or you can lay it down on a table. So not a bad piece to have. The next item is a little bit more complicated. You can see Modular Man next to this locker. The door and the body and also the little plinth it's sitting on, all that modular square, very useful. It's recolorable. I used a lot of different pieces. One of the venting decals, the door handle and the hinges are all the same piece, modified slightly differently. You can see it's outlined there. I'll pull it out. And this piece I could have totally flattened some more, pulling in that arm because it's just working as the plate for the handle. And the handle itself is the same piece turned around and compressed and sized differently. So you can do quite a lot with this sizing system to get what you need and keep your pieces minimum. This build has to stay next to a wall because the plates used for that bracket used for the hinges sticks out the back. So you just bury it in a wall and it's fine. Okay, so make a line of those. Great stuff. On to some more props for your keeper areas. We've got a stainless steel work table, easy to clean. We've got and that's made all out of the square girder, resized in different ways and colored to a clearer steel color. The whiteboard is our favorite cube, and the steel girder again, with the round one for a marker lying on the sill. The stools, there's a tall height for the work table and a shorter height. The shorter one's just made by shrinking down the whole of the stool and then coming back and getting the seat and bringing it back up to proper proportions. Very flexible. Not a lot of pieces in these builds, and they still look decent. On to some cabinets. This has got the cube again. It's got a pipe that has been flattened to make the series both of the cabinet doors and the drawers. And the square ducting makes the frame of the cabinet. You can see me pulling out one of the handles to show you what it is, and it's our old friend, the end of the round pipe capping, shrunk down and buried and makes a plausible little grab handle. It's a wooden top on this one. Shortly we'll see a version with the stainless steel top, but to provide variation on that. The top is the one of the smooth wood square columns, flattened out, stretched, and then recolored. Above it, I did several variations of shelves. Used that same bracket we used as hinges in the lockers and put the same piece that's the top of the cabinet as the shelf, recolored to make it look a little darker and a little more rustic to go with that. The other two have the shelf bracket from the game as a standard, one with the board recolored and the other with this slat piece shrunk down and careful to make it fit on the bracket so the bracket would hold up all those elements. You can get a lot of mileage out of these things by putting more props on them as well. And also a wall cabinet version of the lower cabinet using the counter top or cabinet top as both the cap and the bottom of the wall cabinet. But it's basically a copy of that floor cabinet with the basic frame of it shrunk down to drop out the space of the drawers. I probably should have made it a little flatter since it's a wall cabinet, but this one's just as wide as the lower cabinet. One can use these a lot in keeper areas. For a little more public or office space, I built a modern style desk with the wooden columns again as a favorite, the steel columns to be legs, and the stretcher pieces on the lower part there, and the blotter or whatever that is in the center of the desktop is again our friend the cubicle special piece, and a number of little props on the tabletop as well, which I set up as separate modular ones. A closed up laptop with the PK logo. Just two pieces. It's a smashed down piece from the ventilation system and the logo, of course. The coffee mug, very industrial kind of theming on that one, is made from a pipe, both for its body and its handle. God, scaling things is amazing. Amazing. And the chair is made out of uh, steel beams again, including arches this time. And this time the spherical special piece squashed down to make both the armrest, the backrest, and the seat. And the extra little bit there underneath the seat cushion is also from the industrial piping. It's the end cap for the gutter. The round column makes the roller wheels for this chair. You can use these pieces for lots of things. Just totally amazing what you can do with this system. So, another simple but useful build. The clothing racks, the wall racks that are provided with the game, and round and square pillars again to provide tubular uprights. And so you can click it on there. Yeah, so there it goes. And the same piece turned 90 degrees, shrunk down, and expanded again to make a stretcher. And then the square piece flattened to make a foot so the rack doesn't fall over. You could recolor this to pure steel. Be great. Onto a cattle chute and its stanchions. High visibility yellow nylon rope made from the regular rope and colored. It's a round column making the upright itself and also the wider bit on the ground. You can duplicate sections of them and expand it, and very versatile arrangement for setting this up. And my experience in the past was the guests will actually walk through these things. They won't queue up in them right now, but they will occasionally walk through them. And if they're not going to walk through them, they'll avoid them. Of course, sometimes they may also walk halfway through it and turn around and come back. But we'll see how that plays as the guests get a little smarter. Very plain stanchions in the main build, and then duplicated that and added the spherical special piece. Took the bottom piece, pulled it up, and made a little round top stanchion you could substitute for the plain ones. And then took that round top stanchion, made it bigger, shortened it, and that flat bit under the sphere now is the original sphere having been squashed down, and a new sphere made to be round to make a bollard. Potentially very useful piece in various kinds of parks. So lots of cool things you can do with the modular build. What can I say? It's fun too. Dido Bob, signing off for now. See you again soon.